functions. That is the Linda Ground Special Delegates Convention at the ASK Dome in Jamhuri, and that at the Ufungamano House coming to an end this particular afternoon. Now, of course, joining me just to make sense of whatever has happened in the past few hours from morning up to now, it is midday, is one next to me, Mr. Innocent Musumbi, who is a political and economic analyst. Next to, of course, Mr. Musumbi is Mr. Dennis Anyoka Muturi, is a lawyer as well as a political analyst, and one Augustine Omondi, who is a political analyst. Augustine, allow me to begin with you. I mean, politically speaking, it has been a very eventful day right here in Nairobi, but do you think whatever has happened today, the ratification of Winnie Odinga as the party leader and, of course, the other leaders, together with Vihiga Senator Godfrey Osotsi being stripped of the deputy party leader position, what do you make of the happenings of today moving forward specifically for the ODM party?
You know, in the past, the issue of the SG of the party has been in contention for quite some time. And people, including even Winnie, they showed dissatisfaction on how the party leader was picked and all that processes. And you see that they have been asking, is it possible for you to call for us an NDC for the party so that we are able to ratify all these issues? That is the Sifuna side. And actually, the party sat down and realized, actually, we can do an NDC, though the time is not yet, but we can do a special the delegate conference, SDC, so that we can ratify these positions that were. And even if you look at the constitution of the ODM, what happens if a party leader dies or a party leader resigns? These are the processes that should be used after appointing someone to hold a position for some time. There will be a time that required for maybe 30 days or 90 days for as decided by the NEC or by the central committee to call for a meeting for the party to endorse or to appoint another party leader, and that's what they have done. And you see, the issue that were there initially was that the party leader was operating not officially as per the constitution of the party. We might be having issues of maybe the SG is not in the party, but what does the constitution say if the SG is in the party? Does the SG has assistant in the party who can be able to file those issues with the political parties? And if you can see today's SDC, it means that the ODM has tried as they can to follow the due process as per their constitution to ensure that they close all the loopholes that might come in future, maybe tomorrow, even today, with the ratification of what they have done. And again, just to add on is that we see what we expected to see with the likes of Akina Sifuna to do if they wanted really to defeat the purpose and to say that this SDC that was called was illegal, it didn't meet the constitutional requirement, is that they could have also, because the ODM for the Winnie Odinga issued the notices for everyone to come and attend, and they refused. So what they could have done, they could have issued such a notice for all the party delegates and called them at Ufungamano House. And if people didn't show up, they also have their SDC at the Ufungamano House. So by the time that this other ODM Linda Ground is filing their resolutions with their political parties, they are also filing theirs with their political parties. But you find that in this situation, they have messed up, they have missed it, they've ended up doing politics aside. It will be very difficult, and it's going to give rise to a very serious legal battle tomorrow in terms of was the decision of the SDC official, and if it was official, was the party secretary there, and what is the functions of the deputy party secretary, but what is the function of the deputy Secretary General of a party? Can he undertake this mandate when the Secretary General is not out? Those are the issues that people are going to discuss. Okay, fair enough. Mr. Dennis, let me come to you, sorry. Now, away from the SK Dome in Jamhuri for the Linda Ground SDC, whatever happened in Fungamano House, Mr. Augustine says it was some sort of a political forum, but I mean, there was some bit of chaos over there because at some point the police wanted to prevent the Linda Mwananchi faction from, getting entry into that particular, building to hold their meeting. What do you make of that? And I mean, as a country going to 2027, as you look ahead at 2027, what does it mean? Because it also, there's rising political tensions here in the country.
Yeah, thank you so much. But I think the conduct of the National Police Service today is a matter that is not new. They have behaved in this manner previously in many functions, in public rallies, in riots, not riots really, in mandamano, if we can call it. And the police have always conducted themselves in a manner that when you look at the mandate and the enabling acts of parliament and the constitution, you will really question whether we have sane leaders within the National Police Service. And recently we had a very serious decision in the High Court, I think in Kisumu, where the court awarded about in excess of 38 million for the victims of police brutality during demonstrations. It has said time without number that people have a right to assemble. It is constitutional. People have a right to picket. People have a right to, present petitions. So when, as a police service, you want to stop people from assembling, then it's unfortunate and it's sad. I think it's something that we should never encourage, because governments will come and go. The people of Kenya will remain. The constitution will remain. There will be another government after the current government. So you cannot always act outside the constitution in the name of protecting the government that is in office, or leaders that could be, as it may be, who are in office. So the conduct of police today in attempting to stop people from lawfully assembling, discussing their politics, running their political agenda in a manner they think is best and the manner they feel is right, it's not something they should get involved in.
Okay.
I do not think that today at Ufungamano House, other than being a caucus of people who have their own ideas in terms of going forward in ODM, it's anything anybody should be so worried about, because I do not think I heard them having specific agendas being adopted. It was recognition of persons, and they were all explaining on how they believe going forward they should do of Linda Mwananchi more rather than whatever they believe ODM is doing. And they're right. It's not something that anybody should stop them from doing.
Okay, let me come to you, Mr. Innocent. The presence of Winnie Odinga at that Linda Ground SDC, what does it mean? And to be specific, to quote her verbatim, she said, "Let's try to change and be involving."
Yeah, it's true. Number one, it's indeed a very politically eventful day across our country, because ODM is quite a big party in this country. And for so long, we have seen Winnie Odinga like she was aligned to the Sifuna faction. And but a few days ago, we saw the Nairobi branch for ODM endorsing her as a delegate #1 for Nairobi to replace her late father. And it was just a matter of seeing, and really, politics is way about optics. And the fact that Winnie Odinga has appeared at the Jamhuri Park, the Linda Ground faction of the ODM, says a lot politically. Number two, she has really given a very good speech. Her speech was essentially based on reconciliation and youth-oriented. And you have seen clearly, and that is the feel of any progressive person today in Kenya, that Oburu Odinga as a party leader for ODM is basically transitional. He is holding, the transition between the founding party leader of ODM, his brother Raila Amolo Odinga, to the next generation. And with the endorsement of Winnie Odinga as one of the deputy party leaders, though it has not been done at the special delegates conference, but basically in the next NDC, that is what will be happening. It shows that the party is giving a lot of credence and a lot of significance to the youth, which is very important politically going forward. I must also say something about the Ufungamano group. Okay. As my colleagues have clearly said, it was a caucus of politicians, because we didn't see what is their real agenda. They have lamented a lot. They have really attacked the government of President William Ruto. And my take home in the Linda Mwananchi caucus at Ufungamano is what the governor for Siaya has said, James Orengo, that this country cannot wait for 2027 to kick out William Ruto out of the State House. And he has alluded to the fact that June, the anniversary of the Gen Z protests, come June 2026, should be a rallying point towards protesting against the government. And therefore, it's important to understand Governor Orengo is a lawyer of great significance in this country, and he understands that Kenya is a constitutional democracy. So anything, we can only change the presidency through an election. Okay. So what we have seen from his speech is kind of courting violence, unnecessary protests, and a lot of maandamano yenye hayana haja for the future of this country.
Because of time, let me come back to you, Augustine. Let's talk again about Winnie Odinga. Like he has said, the decision, or the nomination rather, of Winnie Odinga by the Nairobi region for the deputy party leader position, that will be discussed in the National Delegates Conference, most likely at the end of the year. But there have been concerns from certain quarters, because now Oburu Oginga is the party leader of ODM. If the nomination of Winnie Odinga is ratified by the NDC, we also have, Ruth Odinga is also the deputy organizing secretary. There are concerns about whether ODM is turning out to be a family party, because if you look back at when Raila Odinga was, going to vie for the AUC seat, he left the party in the hands of one Professor Peter Nyang'nyong'o. So what does it say if, of course, that nomination will be ratified about the ODM party in itself?
Oh, the fact is that the ODM itself, apart from having the national face of it, but there is an underground kind of assumption that the ODM it's a family project that should be part of the succession of the Raila's estate. And if you try to look at the ODM and the people that you think that could have been given this party after Baba departed to heaven, one of them was Nyang'nyong'o, that the Baba left party with when he was going for the AUC. But you find that they decided to, it was proposed by the Mombasa governor that Oburu Odinga be given the opportunity. Remember, Oburu Odinga was not in any leader structure of the ODM. Just from the grassroots, he was, apart from being the senator. And you find yourself, and that's why the people were having a problem. How did you end up being nominated as one? The reason why he was given these opportunities, one, because he is the brother to Raila Amolo Odinga. Him being given this opportunity to lead the party might try to bring harmony and unity in the party, because if there was fear that if this party could be given, for example, to another person like Oledamo Lekina, that stood out to be very strong, can be a very good party leader, or Otiende Amolo, or even James Orengo, and see James Orengo considering in history in running in 97 against Raila, there was no way that he could have been given the party leader of this ODM. So giving it to Oburu Odinga, one, it protects the value, the say of the family in the party. And you see, if the moment Winnie Odinga tried to diverge or to be divergent in terms of opinion and saying that we support you, but we don't like how you were put into office, and he was working with the Linda Mwananchi kind of a team, you find that the two things happened very fast. Number one, the wife to the Raila Amolo Odinga was nominated to the UN office. That's by the government, and she accepted. Number two, the Nairobi delegates called a meeting and said that we are standing behind Winnie Odinga to be the deputy party leader for Nairobi, because you are our voice and you are party leader. Now you are delegate number one in Nairobi. What did that do? That one created an impression that this party cannot go outside. It kills the democratic space of ODM being a party for all, because you find that very important organs that are now being taken to the family. And also good to know that you see Winnie joining the ODM definitely rattles the existence of the Linda Mwananchi, because those gentlemen are going to be, and you see if the Sifuna team continue behaving the way they are behaving, it will force the ODM to call for a disciplinary action and maybe issue them a letter for them to show up, so to come and answer. So I think the Winnie Odinga joining the SDC is a very good sign for the ODM, and it affirms the issues of that the ODM belongs to the family of Raila Amolo Odinga.
Okay, we're running out of time. Dennis, let me come to you. How big of a blow is, Winnie Odinga's presence at the Linda Ground meeting to the Linda Mwananchi faction?
I think that answer is well answered by your designer who designed the orange on the graphics I've seen for ODM. It's really a broken orange. That is how bad it is. The members are speaking from different, angles. They are all looking at the whole issue differently. Winnie Odinga seems to be settling now with the family, standing with the family. Initially, she looked like she stood for some particular principles. She's now back into the groove, and for the Linda Mwananchi, they could have lost one of their lieutenants, somebody they could have to demonstrate that still those who are loyal to Odinga family as a family, because politics, people stay in a party for various reasons. One, there are those who are loyal to the family. Two, there are those who believe in ideologies, which is what the Sifuna led team is trying to push for. And three, there are those who are in a party for elections. They just want to get a way of getting back into power. And I think that if you listen to the speech by Oburu Odinga, it was heavily laden with a change of tune in the way ODM used to work before. Before they would say, we are pro-people. We want to now deal with the people problems, analyze and understand with the people, irrespective of which government is in place. Okay. The current leadership is saying, we want power. It does not matter. If the people suffer in the process, they wait. We get power first, and then we deal with the issues. So those are different ideologies. So for Winnie Odinga shifting, initially for me, she had stood out as somebody who stood for ideologies and was pushing it alongside her comrades. I wish that Winnie Odinga pursued her own path so that she can ultimately stand out on something else. Going back to the groove works for the family, but with time, people might want to perceive this as somebody who cannot stand for a principle, because what changed between yesterday and today? You know, if a few weeks ago you were defiant and you think that the party was taking a wrong trajectory, the party was not standing on the principles of the founding father, the late Honorable Raila Odinga, you can't just switch your mind when there is nothing, virtually nothing political or anything that you can rely on and say it is the basis upon which you are changing your opinion.
Okay, fair enough. Finally, Mr. Innocent, there are concerns because they talk about pre-election talks, a pact with the ruling party, that is the United Democratic Alliance. But if you had Oburu Odinga and also Junet Mohammed, the minority leader in the National Assembly, the biggest concern here will not only be the DP position, but also the issue of zoning. How is that going to, affect these pre-election talks with the UDA party?
Yeah, it's true. Oburu Odinga had to talk about this because this has been one of the contentious issues in the discussion of the pact between UDA and ODM. And even in Homa Bay County, you have seen once in a while Gladys Wanka has been complaining about meddling by UDA government officials in her county. So this is an issue that will really be a contentious one, and it has to be discussed and agreed on how to go about it, because you see an area like Luo Nyanza is predominantly ODM. An area like Western ODM has some foothold over there, and therefore they would wish for them to be able to negotiate from a strong position to ensure that they have good parliamentary majority or a good number in the parliament, and therefore they will try to safeguard those areas for them to be able to continue with the kind of strength they have. So it is really a contentious issue, and I hope in their discussion of the pact they will be able to deal with it.
Fair enough. Augustine, let's talk about the DP position here, because President William Ruto is expected to have a very big headache. On one hand, ODM says they want that DP position. On the other hand, they, those coming from Mount Kenya region, either Kenya Kwanza administration, maintain that that seat must remain with that particular region. Now, within ODM, there's several people who are, angling to have that particular position or to be nominated as the running mate for President William Ruto. One, there's Hassan Joe, of course. There's Oburu Odinga. There's Gladys Wanga, and there's also CS for Treasury John Mbadi. How big of a headache will it be for ODM to pick someone to deputize President William Ruto, if that will be the case? And if so, will the final pick end up dividing the party more, or are you expecting that the party will rally behind the person who will be finally nominated for the DP position or running mate position?
First of all, if you look at the ODM constitution, and the party leader definitely becomes the presidential candidate. So if there is any other union that the ODM might enter into with another party, it means that that particular party leader now moves to the level of a discussion of the deputy or president or the party leader. But that said and not done, you see the party leader, the deputy president position cannot be sacrificed for the Mount Kenya. That is one thing that President Ruto is too smart to make such a foolish move of trying to take away the deputy position from the mountain, because that is the only thing that is remaining with, that is clinging on me, that he's telling them that your son was removed from being a deputy party leader, but again, your son is the deputy party leader, is the deputy president. So if there is one thing that the president can't afford to do, regardless of how discussion goes, number one, he can't afford to take the deputy president position from the mountain, because that is the only wild card that he has. And ODM should sit down and come to realize that for you to be powerful in a country, you don't need the position of a deputy president. There are other positions that are more powerful, that gives you more power in the party or in the nation or in any other government, if you get them. So the ODM, if they are wise, they should drop the discussion for the deputy president position and try and go for other positions in the union that are going to form with the president, to ensure that they have more CS, they have more CAS, they have more PS in the next coming government, because that is the only way to secure power. Because even as you can see, because the deputy president of a country supports what the president does, and they don't have that much power to make very vital decisions in terms of making the country move forward. So if the ODM was to be wise, they should drop the discussion. And you see, I like what Junaid said, that who said that we're going to not to fill a candidate. What the discussion now, the direction that the discussion should take is that we don't want the deputy president position, but we want power. We want to have a power negotiation in terms of give us 40%, give us 50%, so that we can benefit. Or else this ODM will be, because it will be very difficult, even if you talk about the issues of zoning and try and zone, that is where the party makes money. So no party will want to say that entire Western will not have a candidate because it's an area. It will not work. And that is the deal breaker for this particular union. So what ODM should do as of now is that they should focus themselves on how to have power in the next government by having more positions in the government, and leave alone the position of the deputy president, because it can't be given to the, and it will be very stupid for the president to try to take away the position of the deputy president from the mountain.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Because of time, I beg we stop there, because we are running out of time. But thank you very much for, of course, making time to be with us from 11 up to now. We will wrap up affairs now here on News Desk. But I'll be joined by students from an institution here. But, of course, that will be in not so long. Of course, the images you're seeing on your screen are images that, of course, of the event that happened at the Jamhuri ASK Dome earlier on. And, of course, it has been an eventful day, like they've said, politically speaking, because both sides of the ODM party had, two separate functions, one by the Linda Ground faction, which are, of course, aimed to ratify the decision by the governing council to have Oburu Oginga as the party leader, as well as other leaders, including the DPL position, which includes Simba Arati, the governor of Kisii County, and the governor of Mombasa County, that is Abdul Somad Sharif Nasser. So, of course, we'll be having more details in regards to that, subsequent bulletins at 7 and 9 p.m., as well as whatever happened at the Ufungamano House. Like again, the guest talked about the issue of zoning, as well as the deputy party leader position is one issue that we'll be looking out for, even as both sides of the political divide both sides, that is the ODM party and the UDA party, are looking at engaging in pre-election talks ahead of the 2027 general election. Remember, the Linda Ground faction do say that Raila Odinga did not, endorse the fact that they will be having, they'll be working together in the 2027 general election, because Raila Odinga's last public, gathering, he talked about who had said that the ODM party will not be having a presidential candidate. But the Linda Ground faction maintained that they were left in the broad-based government and they will stay there up to 2027, even as they try to negotiate for, power, like the party leader says, with the President William Ruto's United Democratic Alliance. So that was, of course, the live production that we've had for you from 11 a.m. in the morning. Up to now, it is 30 minutes past or half past 2 p.m. But of course, I'm wrapping affairs here on a news desk. This is 27th day of March 2026. But I'll not be doing